The reason why I think the Star Wars sequels are getting much more hate than the Star Wars prequels ever did is because the Star Wars prequels were much more of a cultural impact than the sequels ever were. Now, I'm not saying the sequels were not incredibly impactful and incredibly popular because they did make a ton of money, and I'm not saying that the prequels are amazing because, let's face it, if you've watched the Star Wars prequels, we can all admit that they're really not that good. The dialogue is rough, some of the CGI is a little weird, but I still love the Star Wars prequels because I love Star Wars and I grew up watching that. And I feel like that's how a lot of people view the prequels. They understand that the dialogue is cringe, they understand that there are some iffy factors and some of the plot lines are a little bit rough, but they still can appreciate some of the good that the prequels have to offer. However, when the sequels came out, they didn't have the same cultural impact that the original trilogy or the prequels had. Sure, when The Force Awakens came out, it was a big hit, but that's because it was pretty much just a copy of A New Hope. And then when The Last Jedi came out, and then when The Rise of Skywalker came out, it just took a piss out of the entire original trilogy and the prequels, which I think turned a lot of people off from the sequel. Those movies totally dismantle all of the buildup that happened in the original trilogy and the prequels. It took away all of the buildup of Anakin Skywalker falling and turning to the dark side to then redeem himself and become the chosen one who he was initially. Them bringing Palpatine back makes it seem like Anakin Skywalker was not the chosen one, even though George Lucas, the creator of Star Wars, has said a million times that it is Darth Vader who is the chosen one. And at the end of the sequels, Rey calling herself a Skywalker really irked a lot of people because, as I said, her kind of being there kind of dismantles everything that Anakin has done. And I think another huge fumble that the sequels had was killing off Kylo Ren as opposed to killing off Rey. I didn't love the sequels, I didn't think that they were terrific, but I think their biggest fumble was at the end of the movie having Kylo Ren force heal Rey. I think the sequels would have been much more impactful if at the end of the series Rey dies, and the true rise of Skywalker was Kylo Ren overcoming what happened to him before and becoming the true Skywalker that he was. And narratively, it makes more sense because you had the child who destroyed the New Jedi Order try to create a new one as atonement for the evil that he did. Narratively, also, the sequels were all over the place. They didn't know if they wanted to make Rey Obi-Wan's daughter, or Palpatine's daughter, or Anakin's daughter, or whoever's daughter. And I think because of all of these reasons, the cultural impact of the sequels was not as impactful as the prequels or the original trilogy, which, in my opinion, is why they are probably going to retcon them.